question we inquired into these past few days was whether or not going to college is worth it. My name's Jason, and my partner is Param.
In order to decide just how much college was worth to us, we chose to look into 5 different aspects of 5 different colleges. The schools we looked into are the University of Connecticut, the University of Bridgeport, Fairfield University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Texas A&M. The features of these schools that we looked into were the price of tuition, population of students, size of campus, number of engineering students, and the most popular major.
In order to find all this information, we conducted extensive research through the internet, utilizing the information each college publicly released. We tried our best to make sure that all of our information was as up-to-date as possible as well. The main search engine which we used is Google. In order to make our graphs, we used the website Staplet.
For price, we looked at what the yearly tuition for each school would be for us, personally, living in Connecticut, before any scholarships or financial aid. This made colleges in-state, like the public state school UConn and private schools UB and Fairfield U, much cheaper than the ones out-of-state. Out-of-state schools like MIT and Texas A&M were much more expensive. Because price is a numerical value, it is a quantitative variable. This led us to graph our data in a box plot.
For population, we searched into the size of the undergraduate student body, since that is what we will soon be entering. We found that public schools like Texas A&M and UConn had much larger amounts of students compared to private universities like UB, Fairfield U, and MIT. Just like price, population is quantitative. This led us to graph our data in a dot plot.
For size, we inquired into the literal size of the campuses of each school. The trend correlated perfectly with the population, as once again, public schools like Texas A&M and UConn had much larger campus sizes, and the 3 private universities were much smaller. We described the size as either big or small due to how similar they were. Because that is categorical, size is a qualitative variable. This led us to graph our data as a bar chart.
We looked into the number of engineering students in each college because that is what we are currently most interested in and plan on going into. We found that out-of-state schools like MIT and Texas A&M had much larger amounts of engineering students compared to the in-state schools. Similar to population, this is a quantitative variable that's led us to graph our data in a histogram.
For the most popular major, we looked at the percentages of how many students were in each major the college had to offer and picked the one with the most students. We found out that between all the colleges, engineering was the most popular in both MIT and Texas A&M, economics in UConn, business in Fairfield U, and psychology in UB. Because the majors are words, it is a qualitative variable. This led us to use a bar chart to represent this data.
Based on the research and data we collected, we can come to the conclusion that for most people, college just isn't worth it. Most students acquire too much debt in their student loans than they can pay off, even with the degree and education colleges give them. There are people that make use of their education and eventually pay off their student loans, but that just isn't the case for most students. You can make enough money not going to college and you won't have a massive amount of student debt trailing you your whole life. Adding to this, the large and primarily engineering-focused schools like MIT and Texas A&M are not in Connecticut. The price of tuition is greater in these schools for us because they are out of state. This makes college even less favorable for people like us, engineers in Connecticut with big dreams. For these reasons, college just isn't worth it.